Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. My name is Julian and this is the Week 5 waiver wire video. In this video, guys, I'm going to suggest players that you can add to help you win Week 5 of the fantasy hockey season and hopefully future weeks as well. Before we get started, guys, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I just hit 2,000 subscribers, guys. I'm so excited about that. So please subscribe and help me reach my goal of 5,000 subs before the end of the season. Thanks again, guys. So before we get started into the players that we can add, let's take a look at the schedule for this week. So as you can see here, guys, it's a pretty standard week. There are a lot of games on Tuesday, on Thursday, and on Saturday. The off nights this week are obviously Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. There are not a lot of games on those days. So if you maximize your games played on those days, you have a really good chance of winning the week. So basically, guys, if you want to maximize your games played on those off nights, you're going to want to add players from the following teams. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they play Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which is a super beautiful schedule to open the week. 3 off nights, so that's definitely a great team to be adding. The Washington Capitals, they play Monday, Friday, and Sunday, which is also a pretty nice schedule. So the Washington Capital players are also pretty valuable. And then the Philadelphia Flyers, who play Wednesday and Friday, which is also pretty decent, but they only play 3 games. So I'm not super crazy about Philly, but definitely could make for a good ad if you're adding a player for Wednesday and Friday. Now, there are 7 teams that only play 2 games this week. So naturally, they have kind of a bad schedule. You got the Chicago Blackhawks, you got the Colorado Avalanche, you got the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Dallas Stars, the New York Islanders, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Islanders actually only play 1 game this week. So if you're owning Islanders players for the week, man, it's rough because you're only getting 1 game out of them. So any low ownership Islander, I would definitely drop for the week because it's really rough to be having Islanders in your roster this week. Jumping now into players that you can add for this week. And first on the list is Anthony Duclair of the Florida Panthers. He's playing on the top line with Barkov and Verhaeghe for the best team in the league, in my opinion. He's 42% owned, and Florida plays 4 games this week. So he's definitely got a chance to put up some numbers this week. Definitely a great ad. Next, I have Ryan Getzlaf of the very surprising Anaheim Ducks. They're doing much better than expected this year, and that top line right now of Henrique, Terry, and Getzlaf is absolutely tearing it up. If any of those guys are available, go ahead and pick them up. The only reason Henrique and Terry aren't on my list is because they're above 50% owned. These guys are absolutely on fire right now, and as long as they stay hot, they should definitely be on your fantasy team. Next, I have Alex Iafallo, and he's getting top power play time right now with LA, and he's really hot. So as long as he stays hot, definitely a good guy to add on your team. I like that he plays Monday and Tuesday as well to start off the week. Next, I have Matt Zuccarello returning from the COVID IR. In all likelihood, he's going to be playing top line with Kaprizov the entire season. So guys, he's definitely going to put up some numbers, going to be top power play as well. Do really like Zuccarello this year. Next, I have Rasmus Asplund of the Buffalo Sabres, and he's someone that I've had my eye on recently. He's getting that top line time on Buffalo alongside Tage Thompson and Jeff Skinner. And that line's actually playing pretty well, and they're also getting top power play time, and Asplund has really been putting up the numbers lately. Next is my MANSCAPED must-add player of the week, Michael Bunting. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code FANTASYTIPPED at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, guys, and free shipping with the code FANTASYTIPPED at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Guys, the holiday season is coming up soon, so get your Christmas shopping done early at manscaped.com. At checkout, use the code word FANTASYTIP. You will get 20% off and free shipping. So why do I like Michael Bunting this week? Well, I said it earlier. The Leafs have a really good schedule. They play Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. And well, Michael Bunting, he shoots the puck a lot, and he plays on the top line with Austin Matthews and William Nylander. I don't think I need to say anything more. Bunting should have a pretty good week, and he's got those off nights, which is pretty beautiful. Next is James Van Riemsdyk, Philadelphia Flyers, 13% owned, and I really like him this week for those Wednesday and Friday off nights. He plays on Philadelphia's top power play and has gotten 2 points in his last 2 games, so he definitely makes for a good streamer for those 2 nights. Next is Isaac Lundstrom on the Anaheim Ducks, and he's up to 9 points in 11 games. He's on an absolute tear this year, and as long as he keeps up his hot play, he's definitely a good add for your fantasy team. Next is Barclay Goodrow of the New York Rangers, only 7% owned, and I can't understand that ownership percentage because the dude's playing top line with Zibanejad and Kreider, and is also getting top power play time with Zibanejad, Kreider, Panarin. So, guys, he makes for a really good sneaky ad. Next, I have Dawson Mercer and Alexander Holtz of the New Jersey Devils. Dawson Mercer has been playing really well as New Jersey's second-line center. He's up to 5 points in 8 games, so definitely makes for a good ad in deeper leagues. And Alexander Holtz is a really talented rookie. Hasn't played a game yet as of this recording, but depending on where he plays in the lineup, he could definitely have some value. So he's more of a speculative ad, but he could definitely provide some value for you. Next, I have Casey Mittelstadt, and if you have room on your IR, I suggest going and adding Casey Mittelstadt. The guy had an insane end of the season last year, and if he's put in a good deployment, which he should be because, I mean, there's not much talent in Buffalo, so the dude should automatically probably get top power play and first or second line. Let's see how he does, right? If you got room on your IR, definitely doesn't hurt adding him. He should be back next week or early the following week. Next, I got Tage Thompson playing on that top line with Asplund and Jeff Skinner. Like I mentioned before when I was talking about Asplund, he's doing very well as well, and he's only owned in 3% of leagues. Definitely makes for a good ad in deeper leagues. Next, I got Alex Kerfoot, who's playing with Tavares and Mitch Marner on the second line in Toronto. Like I said earlier, guys, Toronto has a really good schedule this week, so he's someone who should be added in a lot of leagues this week because he makes for a really great ad and should put up some points on those off nights. My last 3 guys are Lars Eller, Connor Sherry, and Daniel Sprong. Why am I mentioning 3 low-owned Washington Capitals? Well, I said it before. The Capitals have a really good off-night schedule this week, playing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So these guys, yeah, they're not going to get you that many points, but you're going to be able to actually fit them in your lineup. So potentially these guys could save your week in deep leagues, right? Lars Eller is the second line center right now, playing alongside Sprong and Anthony Mantha, whereas Connor Sherry is playing on the third line, but he's getting top power play time right now. So Sherry honestly is a really good sneaky ad at the moment. If there was one other guy I'd take a look at, it would be Kevin Hayes of the Philadelphia Flyers, only 6% owned, and he should be back in the lineup either this week or next week, and he should slot in right away as Philadelphia's second line center and could put up a good season this year. Don't mind adding him if you got the IR space. Moving on to defensemen now, and first on the list, I have Bowen Byram of the Colorado Avalanche, and wow, he's playing good this year. He's been playing so well that he's now manning Colorado's top power play as long as Makar is out. So he's got an insane amount of value right now. Unfortunately, Colorado doesn't play a lot this week or next week, but as long as Makar stays out, this guy does have crazy value and should be getting a lot of points. Next, I have Cam Fowler, who's 42% owned. And I know I said that him and Shattenkirk, it's just a phase. It's not going to last super long. They're just really hot right now. They're really hot right now. They're not going to stay this good for the rest of the season. There's no way that's going to happen. But as long as these guys stay hot, they're players that you can have on your team. Next is someone I've been repping basically every week, Rasmus Andersson of the Calgary Flames. He's up to 40% rostered. And I think that by next week, guys, I won't be able to have him on my list anymore because he'll be over 50% owned. Calgary's been really surprisingly good this year, and Rasmus Andersson has been pretty solid on their top power play. Next, I have Nate Schmidt of the Winnipeg Jets, and he's been manning the top power play with Josh Morrissey, Scheifele, and Wheeler. Yeah, he's been looking pretty freaking good this year. He was someone that I pointed out could have a really strong season if he's given the power play deployment, and he has been, and he's been doing very well. Next, I got Gustav Forsling, and he's someone that I'm not a huge fan of, but he's got a horseshoe so deep up his butt. The dude's getting so lucky and getting points left and right, and he really shouldn't be. His PDO is very high, and as long as he stays hot, though, he's someone that I would consider having on my roster if I'm desperate. Next, I have Brett Pesce, who's injured day-to-day right now, but when he comes back, he will be manning Carolina's second power play, and he's gonna get you a point about every 2 games or so. Don't mind Brett Pesce as a deep league ad. Next, I have Brandon Montour, and he's really for deep leagues. He does get time on Florida's second power play and could potentially also get a point every 2 games or so, though his peripherals will not be that great. Next, I have Oliver Kylington of the Calgary Flames, only 2% owned, but he has 5 points in his last 5 games. The dude's playing insanely well, and as long as he stays hot, he's someone that I'm adding to my team if I'm in a really deep league. Next, I have Cale Clegg, and he's someone that I really like adding to your team, especially in deep leagues, because Drew Doughty, well, he's out for another 6 weeks at least, so Cale Clegg is the guy who's currently manning that top power play in LA, and so far he has 3 points in 3 games doing that job. Really like Clegg as an ad right now. And last but not least, if I'm in an insanely deep league and there's nobody else, I'm going to consider adding Will Butcher to my team. With Olofsson out, Will Butcher has been featured on the top power play, where Asplund, Thompson, and Skinner are playing alongside Rasmus Dahlin. Butcher has not really been getting any points yet on that top power play, but the opportunity is there, so he's someone that I would consider in really deep leagues. Moving on to the last part of the video, that's the goalies. And first on the list, I got Alex Nedeljkovic of the Detroit Red Wings, and it looks like he is the better goalie in Detroit. He's been playing a lot better. Yeah, they've been splitting the starts a lot more than I would have hoped for, but going forward, I think Nedeljkovic does get the majority of the starts, so I don't mind him, although the wins may not be that plentiful just because he plays for Detroit. Next, I have Craig Anderson of the Buffalo Sabres, and lately Buffalo's been coming down to earth a little bit. They've lost 3 in a row, but honestly, Anderson has played really, really well this year, and he's definitely someone that you can stream as long as Buffalo stays decent. Next, I have James Reimer of the San Jose Sharks, and it looks right now that he has taken over the crease in San Jose. He's been playing a lot better than Adin Hill, and as long as he's playing well, he's someone that you can have on your team because he will get the starts. I do think Adin Hill probably steals back the crease at some point this season, but right now is not that time. Reimer is someone to have on your team. Next, I have Jonathan Quick, and he's only owned in 11% of leagues, but he's been getting the majority of the starts this season, actually. Bizarrely, a lot of people thought Cal Peterson was going to be the starter in LA. And yeah, he kind of was to start off the year, but they've been splitting the starts pretty evenly. And Jonathan Quick's actually been getting a little bit more than Cal Peterson. So if you're desperate in a deep league, Quick is not a bad ad. And last but not least, I have Karel Vejmelka of the Arizona Coyotes. Only 6% owned. Has not won a game yet, because Arizona hasn't won a game yet, but he is the starter in Arizona, and he's actually played really, really well. He's been putting up really good numbers, really great save percentages. Just Arizona sucks. So if you don't need wins necessarily, and you get points in your league for saves, Vejmelka is someone who's going to get all the starts in Arizona, so he actually makes for a pretty decent ad. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.